About 6 months back, we did one of the most popular, biggest upgrades we've ever done to our Tesla Model Y. We upgraded the suspension to the Luxury Coilover set from Unplugged Performance. We've had it for about 6 months, and we've gotten lots of questions from you guys asking for updates. Is it worth it? We've got all those answers for you and more today. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you've ever ridden in a Model Y, you know that although it is amazing and a great piece of technology and a lot of fun to drive, it's not exactly the smoothest ride out there. Well, today we are going to give you our long-awaited 6-month update on what we think about it, and we're also going to go visit the man who did the install work himself, the godfather of EVs, Joe over at Evolution Autosports. We're going to get his take on the suspension, so let's not waste any more time, and let's jump right into it. Let me tell you a little bit about how our experience has been. The first day after I left Joe's shop and we came home, everything went well. There really wasn't any problems. It felt like driving in a cloud. It was absolutely amazing. And it was that way for actually the first 2 or 3 days. By day 4, we started to notice that there was like a squeak coming every time we hit a bump.
It's a funny squeaky sound.
Almost like a metal on metal type of squeak. It progressively got worse and worse. Joe asked us to bring the car back. He couldn't find any type of issue with the install itself that would cause that problem to happen. So Joe and his team then quickly reached out to Unplugged Performance. Joe and Unplugged Performance as a duo worked together to troubleshoot as much as they could. Unplugged Performance would tell Joe, try this, and then Joe would try it. It sounded like it would work. Joe would give me the car back. We would drive it for a day or two, and then inevitably the noise would come back. And this kind of went on for a period of about 3 weeks. Eventually, they settled on replacing some of the parts. Unplugged Performance sent out a couple replacement parts. Joe and his team replaced everything, and then all of a sudden, boom, we were in business. Really, from there on out, we haven't had the problem since. Joe and his team were also absolutely amazing through the whole experience. He worked around our schedule whenever I was available to bring it in. Unplugged Performance was also terrific during the process too. Both Unplugged Performance and Evolution Autosports kept me completely in the loop the entire time. Now, for the last 6 months, we've been driving with no noises whatsoever, just a nice, smooth, comfortable ride. Now, the one thing we did notice is it does feel like we lost a little bit of handling on it, but the beautiful thing is the entire system is completely adjustable. So we're gonna try and fine tune it to exactly what we want. But in terms of the comfort of the ride has been great. And that's why we're gonna go see Joe. He wants to do the normal checkup on the vehicle itself. And while he has it, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dial into a little bit different of a setting on both the coilovers as well as the sway bar. Just try to dial in that much more on maybe some perfect settings that we can recommend to you guys. We're back at Evolution Autosports for our checkup on our suspension. Now, typically, this is something that you would get done at about 60, 90 days after you have the coilovers installed. I kind of went a little over that length of time. Things got a little busy. I'm at about 6 months, give or take. So, but we're still gonna do a check. They're gonna look it over, make sure everything looks good, everything is still tight. And while we're here, we're also gonna change our settings a little bit. We kind of wanna go a little bit more towards the handling side. So we're gonna dial in to 10 clicks, and then we're also gonna change the sway bar to the middle setting, just to give us a little bit more handling ability, allow to feel the road a little bit more when you're kind of going around, but still give plenty of comfort and a much better ride than what it is with the standard suspension in there. So right now, Tiernan and Julian are just going through it all, making sure everything is still nice and tight on there. And actually, with the wheels now off, it's right above the wheel when you come in, you see the silver here, that blue, that's right there. This is where we're gonna turn to make the adjustment. And then the front's actually in a different spot. It's actually on the inside of the front.
We're adjusting the tension in the sway bar. So as you can see, this sway bar has 3 different points where you can attach the end link. Where we had it set up front, we're just adjusting for Chris to put it into the middle setting, as you can see here.
Seems easy enough, right? How do we adjust the front one?
All right, so the fronts, it's pretty easy too. So you're gonna first go in, pop your front open, and then you're gonna just lift this guy up. Just clips, no hardware. So once we have this cover off, you see right along here, along the high voltage line, the adjuster. And then we have an S and an H for soft and harsh. All you have to do is left or right, and you'll feel it. As you turn it, there's clicks. So that way you just spin it to whatever your desired method is. And if you don't know where in the range you are, just go all the way one way and then count your clicks inward. That way you can find out, you know, what setting you're at. So over on this side, it's a little bit more involved, not too bad. So what we have here is a little push pin right here, and that's gonna allow us to separate the actual front itself from the top half of the fluid reservoir. A little pop clip tool in here. There we go. You're gonna wanna undo this, this little hose here. It runs through and it tucks in just like this. So you just untuck that guy out first. You wanna make sure you do that. Seems a little weird and sketchy, but what you're gonna do is you're actually just gonna wiggle this guy. You're gonna pull it straight out. There's nothing actually holding it in other than a seal. Now this is the part where if you're really good about topping off your fluid, you're gonna see some. All right.
Yeah, don't worry, we're not.
Oh! Bam, easiest day.
Nice.
So like I said, on the other side, all you do to adjust it is you turn it, you twist it, and you'll feel it. Sometimes it's a little stiff.
All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. You can kind of hear it too.
If you're sitting at home in a garage, nice and quiet, you'll hear the click. It's audible and it's tactile, so you'll feel it and you'll hear it.
So these move in the same direction as the ones up front, right?
Yes. So if you look at the front adjusters from the top, it's the same rotation, except now instead of coming from the aerial view, you're coming from the side.
Right.
So you're just changing orientation at which you're adjusting.
And that's it. It's literally as simple as that to make adjustments if you want to go softer or harsher on the luxury coilover set from Unplugged Performance. Pretty simple. It's really just a matter of being able to stick your arm all the way in there in the back if you don't have a lift. But if you don't, or you don't have a jack, it's okay, you can still do it.
It's not stupid if it works.
You know someone's gonna comment about how you put the tire on with your feet.
When you spend a couple years working on tanks, and you can't lift a tank, so you're always on the ground or under it or crawling around. So that's just how you work. That's how my brain works. Thanks, Army.
In the army.
So we are here with the owner of Evolution Autosports, Joe, who, I mean, you guys have heard me say it. I mean, Joe has been working on EVs for like ever since EVs were a thing, right?
10 years now?
Man.
11, 12 years.
What's your background?
Yeah, so I started, kind of fell into it a little bit with working for a dealership that took up a Fisker franchise back in 2011 and said, well, we need somebody to work on these new cars that their franchises they've acquired. And out came the Fisker, and that was my car to work on, and I learned a lot over the years working on them. I learned through trial and error and a little bit of suffering of how to fix the batteries and the electric motors, and before you know it, people started bringing Teslas in, and here we are.
Well, we've been driving with it now for, it's been like 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. I know, right?
To be honest, we tried to get him in here, but we're both busy. So
we absolutely, without a doubt, noticed the difference between driving with this suspension compared to what it was before. But we did have some problems at the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. Where there were some noise problems and stuff like that. So is that kind of a common issue that you've seen with Unplugged Performance?
No, I want to say maybe 2 in 10, and this goes for either company or really that we use. You know, we get a noise here or there, and to be honest, I've seen so many different revisions of the coilovers being produced and sent to us to install that you can tell that they're working to modify the product as they go. But they were very attentive. We had that noise with your car when we were turning at slow speeds.
Right.
And I do try to preface that with every customer that there might be some noise. These are aftermarket suspension parts. They are performance suspension parts considerably. And but Unplugged was there the whole way. Their tech support was I mean, responsive. I've had companies where you call and there's nobody there. And
Well, it's just good to know that both of you guys stand behind the product and the install itself. Let's get into answering some of the questions that came up on the last video that we did with the actual install of it all. There were two big comments that were like all over the comment section. So the first is about how, and understanding not every shop is different, but on average, like what's the range in terms of cost to have the install done of a coilover set?
the first question when somebody calls is how much, and it does depend obviously on. We did everything on your vehicles, not everything, but we did pretty much the whole gamut of suspension: front upper control arms, rear adjustable camber and tow arms, adjustable coilover suspension, adjustable sway bars. So that's upwards of $7,000. Again, don't quote me because they keep changing their prices, but with everything installed like you have it, it's just over $7,000, I believe. The average majority of the people come in with Mountain Pass or unplugged setups between $4,000 and $5,000.
So the other big question that was all over the comments, and this one was even bigger, and it's not just on this video that we did with the coilovers. I see it on all of the videos I do where I do accessory reviews and stuff. The warranty. I can't tell you how many times people were commenting, no thanks, I'll pass. It's going to void your entire warranty and things like that. So can you explain how the warranty part of that works?
Yeah, so I come with upwards of 20 years of dealership experience for a manufacturer, and I know the drill. I know if you do that, your warranty is going to be void, and I can tell you clear as day that it will not void the warranty of the vehicle. I get questions like that all the time on the phone. Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act of 1975.
Yep.
Right? Will tell you that they cannot void the warranty because you install a non-manufacturer component on the vehicle. However, there is a caveat. They can obviously not cover a suspension issue under the warranty when it's an aftermarket suspension.
Right.
They do not have to warranty the unplugged suspension, obviously. They do not have to warranty a failed component caused by that suspension.
Right.
Those are all clearly written. But can they void your battery warranty because you put unplugged suspension in? Absolutely not. You would have 100% grounds for a lawsuit. And you can read the act. It's right online. You can Google it, and it will tell you what they can and can't do and can't say to you. And you have people like us on your side. I've gone at it toe to toe with a Tesla dealer for, a client. We installed a Hancho Power Frunk, and she had an issue with a 12-volt battery, and they tried to blame that. And she was, not technically knowledgeable with the information, so they felt that they had it all over her to be able to tell her that. And I said, I'll call them, and I called the Tesla plant and said, look, this is not going to happen like this.
Right.
So, I started talking back with technical knowledge, and next thing you know, she's got it covered under warranty. So, but they will try. They will try.
Now, all right, Joe, so last question. What are your favorite top 3 accessories that you've either done yourself or you've seen come through the shop for Tesla?
Well, I'll preempt that by saying there's a lot more out there than we've actually done. So I still welcome people to bring in the new stuff. I mean, we haven't seen it all, so I can't be fair. I love the taillights. Those Hancho taillights are really neat. Obviously, the suspension would be number one. And then I think the tilt screen was the screen swivel and tilt.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a pretty neat setup. And those are probably, and I say that because those are probably the 3 that we installed most. I'm not a Power Frunk person because, to be honest, I forget my car has one.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's just the way it is. But it's still neat nonetheless. And and I still welcome anybody to bring anything. We had somebody install a seat extender the other day that makes your seat longer.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah.
And we were like, "What is that?" He was in the back of the car. He's like, "Oh, did you put my seat extender?" I'm like, "I don't know what that was. It was just wrapped up in plastic." He's like, "Oh yeah." They just strapped it to the seat, and I guess it makes your
it gives support to your legs.
Yeah, which is hey, they'll come up with anything. I mean, so
that's awesome.
We'll put it in. I mean, just give us a shout. We'll do it.
When you're getting anything done with your car, you want to go to somebody who knows electric vehicles. They're just different than gas, and they have to be treated differently than a nice car. Joe and his team at Evolution Autosports, they understand that. So it's worth the drive, it's worth the trip. I mean, people are coming down from Canada to see Joe just because it's worthwhile to go to the a trusted source for all of that. Even the little maintenance stuff though too, because I get questions from you guys all the time. Where do I go to get my car inspected and things like that?
Yep, filters,
Joe.
brake fluid, things like that still need to be changed. And a rolling vehicle that stops,
Yep.
you know, we can still take care of everything like that. So yeah, there's no need to go anywhere else.
Well, there you have it, a complete wrap up of the Unplugged Performance luxury coilover suspension. There is our review after using it for 6 months. It really does make a big difference in terms of the comfort of the ride. Obviously, when you lower it, it makes a big impact on the appearance. It is really nice. Is it worth the price? Again, it all comes down to whether or not you have the financial means to do it. If you do, yeah, I recommend doing it. I think it's absolutely worthwhile. There is a significant difference in the ride quality and the appearance if you lower it. If it's a stretch financially, no, I don't think it's something that you absolutely have to do, but if you have the means and you're looking for a more comfortable ride or a more sleeker look, then yeah, I would absolutely recommend, if you're gonna get that done or you're looking to modify your Tesla in any other way or any EV, I would obviously go to Evolution Autosports if you're anywhere near the area. You just heard it, people come from Canada even to go to Joe because he's really that good and he's just that much of an expert in the world of electric vehicles. If you already have Unplugged Performance luxury coilover set on your Tesla, I think the setting of 10 is kind of the perfect setting. So if you have them, maybe try it out. I think you'll probably like it. We hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please, as always, make sure to chuck a like on it. It always helps with that YouTube algorithm. The more likes on the video, the more people will find it. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. We are so close to hitting that goal of 10,000 subscribers, guys. So thank you so much for that. I promise we've got a really cool merch drop that we're gonna do when we hit there, and we're gonna do a big giveaway. So the sooner we get there, the better. Thanks as always, guys, for watching, and we will see you real soon in another one.